Hello, I'm wearing my bicycle helmet today. Yes, can you believe it? And I'm here at this beautiful spot near the creek. And I'm going to ride my bicycle a little bit further. And then I'm going to read something to you from my riding. Isn't that gorgeous here? Look at that. Oh wow. There's a nice spot there where I can sit. Here it is. I've been here before. It's where I speak for an audience that isn't there. But who knows? Maybe one day they will show up. I'm going to sit here in the shade, take off my helmet because I don't need it while I'm sitting here. So, yeah, before I go into reading my writing to you, I just want to speak a little bit, not a little bit, a whole lot. I say that word too many times, a little bit. It's just a habit. But I want to say something, yeah, which just at this moment is possible because I'm sitting here in this particular spot. And so, as you can tell, I'm here by myself, yeah. I'm just talking with myself, yeah. And that is a very important thing. And that is the perfect introduction to also this screeching bird here. That is a hawk that is sitting in the tree. Oh, here, look at there. There's a big bird flying over there. That's a turkey vulture, if you can see it. A turkey vulture circling around. But no, this introduction that I just gave is perfect for what I'm about to read. And let me get it out here. I have written it so that I can read it, because sometimes I find what I'm saying comes out better after I've first written it and then read it. But of course it has to be my own writing, untouched by anything else. So when I read to you something that I have exchanged with AI is different. Yeah, this is uncontaminated verbal behavior of Maximus Pepperkamp. Me. Okay, I've got two pieces here, and there is this particular piece that I want to read first, so I have to sort of check whether I got the right piece here for you, because I intend to read that piece first. Let me see. Yes, it is this piece that I want to read first. I got it. And believe it or not, this is another new a new thing that I have recently began to do. I write these pieces here that you see it like this. It is a page that was folded in 4, and then I write 8 small little pages like this, yeah. And then once you unfold it, you have 8 short statements, you could say almost, which capture a particular moment really well. And I write these while I'm sitting in the hot tub in the sports club where I work out. And this morning, I didn't write this piece this morning. Actually, the piece that I'm also going to read after this one on a new video, I wrote this morning, but this one I wrote yesterday. Okay. It still amazes me that I have discovered the incredible difference between disembodied language and embodied language. And you know, that difference, right? Which is the difference between when you do not listen to yourself while you speak and when you listen to yourself while you speak. That's what embodied language is. You listen to yourself while you speak. And so I've discovered that difference between how you use your language. Yeah, I'm going to stand up here a little bit because I believe there's mosquitoes here. I'm not sure. I feel a little bit of an itchy leg here all of a sudden. I am still amazed that I have discovered this incredible difference between disembodied language and embodied language. And that in spite of all my writings, yeah, because I've done a lot of writings, and you can read them on my Substack or you read them on my X account. In spite of all my writings, in spite of all my videos, there is hardly any response at all. Yeah? And I'm not saying this complainingly. I'm not saying this, how do you say that? As if something is wrong. No. Actually, I feel really good about it. Because I'm not doing anything to cater to anybody. I'm just speaking my own truth. And that's what anyone would do with their embodied language. And the reason nobody responds in the way that would just completely be in line with embodied language is because nobody is having embodied language. I'm having it, but nobody else has it. Yeah. And so, yeah, you can pretend all kinds of things about yourself, and that's what everybody does. But I'm not into that. I'm not into that at all. And so it amazes me that even though I produce so much, yeah, I make so many videos like this, I've done so many beautiful writings which are really coherent, writings which just perfectly explain the difference between disembodied language and embodied language and all the problems it creates that we don't know about that. In spite of all of that, there is hardly any response at all. That's striking. That says something. And it actually says something really positive about what embodied language truly is, how revolutionary it is, how beautiful it is, how unique it is. I can't begin to tell you again, yeah, like I've already done many times before, but I don't mind doing it again. I don't have a mind. I can't begin to tell you how utterly stupid it is, according to me, that people are just not catching on. Yes, I say this. It is utterly stupid, unintelligent that we are not having embodied language in which we listen to ourselves while we speak, instead of the disembodied language which is going on everywhere, where everybody is listening to other people and is trying to get other people to listen to them, but nobody is listening to themselves. I listen to myself and I find it utterly stupid, unintelligent. Actually, I find it unacceptable that nobody is catching on. And I don't accept it. I just say it to you, whoever you are, wherever you are. If you're listening to this, you must know that I tell you that your disembodied language is bogus. Your disembodied language, in which you do not listen to yourself while you speak, is outdated, is problematic, is just pretentious, it is false, it is incorrect. It is incorrect, because how can you be correct if you do not listen to yourself while you speak? You are not correct. You want to be correct, and you're trying to dominate others with your view and with whatever it is that you're saying, but you're incorrect because you're not even listening to yourself. You want others to listen to you, you don't even listen to yourself. So, the only thing, I continue my reading because I was digressing here a little bit in my own spontaneous explanation of what I'm saying here on this first little page, right? Do you see it? This first little page 1. Now I'm at page 2. Do you see it? Okay, page 2. The only thing I can come up with is that my formulation isn't flashy enough. No, it isn't demanding enough. It isn't infuriating enough. And it is not devastating enough. Yeah. I can only be the way I am. And if that doesn't do it, well, then I guess I'll have to live with it. And that's what I do. I live with it. I have no problem with it whatsoever. I continue with my embodied language. All right, we are on to page 3 now. Of course, I already, live with it. And I don't give a shit about whether others are getting it. And looking back, I admit that caring about other people getting it, it was just a waste of my time. No, I don't have a positive outlook for those who refuse to acknowledge what I call languageology. And as far as I am concerned, they are all doomed. Do you hear me? You are doomed. Yeah, I can't help it. But without embodied language, you are, shooting yourself in the foot. You are harming yourself. You are doing something against your own will. You are involuntarily engaging in disembodied language every day, and you don't even realize it. And you don't even realize that because of your disembodied language, you have developed a whole behavioral repertoire, which is all involuntary behavior. So you participate not only in disembodied language, which is involuntary, you participate in a whole set of behavior which belongs to your disembodied language, which is behavior which you would never have if you would, like me, speak with yourself and listen to yourself. So as long as you don't do that, you will be doomed by your own way of using language. I consider myself a very positive person. And perhaps it takes a very positive person like me to express the brutally honest and irrefutable truth that without embodied language, all of mankind is just going down the drain. Yes, that is what is happening, ladies and gentlemen. We have yet to acknowledge that there is such a thing as embodied language, that there is such a thing as voluntary verbal behavior instead of involuntary, coerced, punitive verbal behavior. In my early teens, I'm going back in time here for a little bit because I was reminded of this. In my early teens, I already had this feeling of doom, I was listening to Pink Floyd and I was smoking hashish and marijuana. I don't do that anymore. But I was having this feeling that something is terribly wrong with the world. And I was already feeling this way, and that is why, now I'm going to page 5, that is why I didn't want to do anything else in life than just, I just wanted to have fun. And luckily I was born in a time, I am from 1958, So I'm now 67 years old. I was born at a time when, yeah, a lot of people of my cohort traveled and went to see the world, and I read books in those days, Dharma Bums from Jack Kerouac, and La Ilaha from what is it? Another book about the culture in the Middle East, and I read books by Hermann Hesse, and I read books by I don't know, philosophers, of course. I read Nietzsche, and I read Schopenhauer, and then eventually, of course, I got on to Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh and Krishnamurti and Nisargadatta and all these guys, all these spiritual people, yeah, and because I was, just supposedly looking for my real self and searching for enlightenment. But I just wanted to travel in my teenage years. And that was all I wanted. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to study. I didn't want to be busy with, I don't know, more of the same. No, I wanted to discover myself and my own way of viewing things. So I considered myself some kind of vagabond. And I did travel, and I did see quite a lot of the world. And I have traveled all over Europe, hitchhiking back in the days, amazingly, living on hardly anything, working here and there, small jobs temporarily, and then moving on to a next place. And I don't regret at all having done that, because those were my formative years where I went through hardships, for sure, also, because it wasn't easy to live like that. And it was also sometimes really dumb what I did, yeah, where you just, I don't know, could have gotten into real trouble, but luckily all of that worked out. But I had already seen in my early teens, without having the knowledge that I have today, that although I was happy by myself, having a good time and having girlfriends, or I was having also a long-term relationship a couple of times, but then it broke up again, and then we went separate ways. But I didn't see myself as, permanently attached to one person, even though I am married for many, many years with my loving wife Bonnie. And I'm not going to separate from her. But in any case, I was always having fun, and I was always dancing, singing, enjoying myself, and of course, smoking pot and stuff like that, making music. And I already realized that everyone was just stuck in superstition, stuck in pretension, stuck in arrogance. And I knew that I was not going to give up on my ability to enjoy myself like everyone else. Yeah, I believe that everyone else has actually given up on themselves. That's why they engage day in, day out in disembodied language. And that's why they also do not even write me a small message saying like, yeah, Maximus, you are absolutely right about everything you're saying. It is true. Of course there is embodied language. And of course I also want embodied language. Yes. No. Everyone has given up on themselves. And that's why you carry on with your unaddressed, moronic, unintelligent, disembodied language. But, like I said, I wasn't going to give up on my embodied language or my joy of life. And everybody wants what they presumably want, and they want it instantly. But what they are able to get immediately is not what they need. No, I know that. To the contrary, what they get and what they demand to have immediately, it distracts them from what they actually really need. And with their disembodied language, they never get to it. They forget about it. They endlessly distract from it, because Your disembodied language cannot express your individually lived experience. So you need to listen to yourself, that's your real need, in order to be able to acknowledge for yourself what actually your individually lived experience is. And without embodied language you cannot accomplish that. So that is page 6. We are moving along here, folks. That's going good, isn't it? So we are nearing the last 2 pages of this wonderful paper here. Do you see it? I always got what I wanted, and I always achieved what I wanted to achieve. Also, I found out I didn't want what I couldn't achieve. So I don't have any regrets about what I didn't achieve. Moreover, what I didn't achieve, I couldn't achieve, as there weren't any contingencies that would make these achievements possible. I don't take any responsibility for behavior I wasn't able to have because there was no support for it. I take responsibility for this behavior that I'm having right now and for what I have achieved with my embodied language, as I have created with my embodied language the circumstances in which my happy achievements could occur. Yeah, my current level of happiness, which has never been as good as it is today, is achieved with my ongoing embodied language. And I have achieved all this by myself. Yes, I have a lovely wife. I love her dearly. But if I wouldn't have done what I am doing, I wouldn't be feeling the way I'm feeling. And everybody can only achieve their own happiness, their own, you could say, language enlightenment with their ongoing embodied language.